Hello, everybody. After a long time, I have decided to do another video game review. It's been quite some time since I've done one, but a number of people kept on asking me, when are you going to do another video game review, talk video games again? And I decided to finally get back into it and do this again. I had actually set up another channel called Gondu Gamer, which was exclusively for video game content, and this was just meant to be a video blog, and I talk about video games, cars, whatever I'm interested, which I have a lot of different interests, and decided I was going to segment off video game stuff into that different channel. But I think I'm going to mix and match the two. I don't know how exactly it's going to work as of now, but in any case, I decided to do a video game review again, because a lot of people had requested it, which I felt very happy to see that some people enjoyed my content and missed it. So today we're going to talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance, which has been a game that's been out for a few years now, right? I've been playing it. I've been playing it on the PC, and overall I have thoroughly enjoyed the game. I haven't finished the game yet, though. Let me just point that out, even after a couple of years of having it. But it is a game that I do think is worth talking about. So I'm going to talk about what I like about it and what I don't like about it. And the summary of all this is that overall I really like it. It's an amazing game. And what I don't like about it is probably more about my personal preferences or where I'm at in my life at this time, which make it sometimes a challenge to play. So let's get into the pros. So actually, before I get into the pros, let me just talk about what this game is. It's basically a medieval RPG taking place in a real time in medieval history. And it's not like a fantasy medieval RPG, which we have a lot of with like dungeons and wizards and and dragons. It's they try to make it as realistic as possible, with no magic system. You have to even feed your character, and again, it takes place in a real time in history. And you really get to feel what it's like to be in medieval times, right? Which is a different type of game. We're used to sort of the Lord of the Rings style medieval fantasy type game. So that's one of the first things I like about it, is that it feels like what it's like to be in actual medieval times, which is what I've always dreamed about since I was a kid, just being able to go back to that time. I was always into medieval history and just always would imagine myself what that would be like, and in a way it's kind of like a dream come true, just to be able to walk around that time and get past the glorified vision of medieval times that we have, which is all about knights and chivalry. There's plenty of other things out there in medieval times, like the plague and a lot of challenges there, right? So it wasn't all just a bed of roses and romantic view of things. So just that setting and environment makes it very, very unique, right? Which in itself is just a huge aspect. With that, you can just immerse yourself in just walking around in the area, admiring the trees, admiring the different locations, right? It just feels very very well crafted and put together, because it's an open world game, right? And we're talking about a real open world game, not a sandbox open world game like Grand Theft Auto. Generally you can kind of go wherever you want to go. Mind you, if your character's leveled up appropriately, it makes it more appropriate to go into those different areas, but you don't have to play the game in any specific sequence per se to enjoy it, right? So that's really the biggest draw to the game, It's just that setting, that unique setting, based on more reality, medieval, being open world, and having a really great scenery. Now, what I don't like, there's a couple things that have to do more with who I am and where I'm at this period of my life, and maybe one functional thing. The one functional thing is that it's a bit buggy, right? The version that I played, and I know there's been a few different bug releases out for the game, but there are some weird things that happen, characters getting stuck in certain areas and stuff like that, and it's fine. I get it. I'm a developer myself, and I realize when you release stuff, you have to release it at a good enough state, because you can't have something that's 100% bug free. There's just too many variables with different systems and things like that, and configurations. That's just not completely possible. And it's always a question of being good enough, right? And instead of delaying the game from its release for 1 and 2 years, you gotta just get it out there at a certain point, right? So yeah, I don't know how much some of those new bug releases have fixed things, but it wasn't to the point where it's detrimental for me to play, right? It wasn't a turn off, just something to be aware of. And again, when you look at the breadth of the game, what they've accomplished with the open world, it's a given. You're going to have bugs, right? Now this goes more into who I am, and where it probably doesn't connect with me right now so much, is that you need a lot of time to play this game. You need to immerse yourself in it, which is a good thing as well, because it's got a lot of hours of gameplay, right? And so, I find myself just playing stop and go, and then getting busy with other stuff, and then forgetting where I left off, right? So that makes it a game that's kind of not conducive to where I'm at right now, where I need kind of a game that I can pick up and go. And a lot of it has to do with the save game system. The save game system, you can't just save anywhere. You have to do it at certain checkpoints or rest at certain spots. Like something like Oblivion or Skyrim, where literally I used to just kill characters and just save right that spot. So everything was always forward progress, and I was a little obsessive with that, and I realized that. It's funny, I used to have a friend who never would save his game. He was like completely hardcore, and ironically the same friend really loves this game. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a cheat gamer in that respect, that I save like every second spot that I can, right? Just because I hate taking steps back. But you have to be able to immerse yourself and the sort of save game aspect, which is not a bad thing. It's just the way it is, right? It kind of kept me from really immersing myself into it. You also need a pretty substantial system in terms of power. Now, my gaming system is a little outdated. It's an Alienware laptop, a couple years old, and I do need an upgrade. I had to run this on low. It still looked great on the low setting, and when you run it on high, it looks really incredible. So it's not a bad thing. You get a lot of value for that power, but you do need a fair amount of juice to run this game. So I just could barely run this game in terms of, I won't say barely, but it was playable. But definitely it shows you where you need to be at in today's gaming system. The third thing I really didn't like, based on sort of my more personal preference, I really didn't like the whole feeding system where you have to keep on feeding yourself. Again, that's not a bad thing. It adds that realism, but I've just found that kind of tedious, right? And that's just me, right? I just want to kind of get to the main enjoyable parts instead of sort of the chores of the game. So those are a few of those things there. But overall, I think this is a really incredible game, right? I think it's a really incredible game. And, the points that I didn't like about it more had to do with me than the game itself. And so you just might want to ask yourself, are you that type of player right now? Are you somebody that wants sort of to play, a quick, fast game that's really sort of stimulus rich, then maybe it's not for you. But if you want something that's sort of long and slow, then maybe this game is for you, right? But like, I think it's a truly great game. I think either way, it's worth taking a look at. So, anyways, I have put in the description of this video where you can get the game. That is an affiliate link, so I do get a bit of a kickback if you do purchase the game. There's a lot of different places you can purchase it, but it does help to support me in continuing to do more videos like this, which I had stopped. I've also set up a Patreon account as well, so if you do like my content, again, it does encourage me to continue to produce more content, making it sustainable. So definitely that support is appreciated. And if you do like this video, please like and subscribe as well. And I do also have an Instagram and Twitter account, which I've listed in this video in the description. So hope you enjoyed this quick review, and I'll talk to you soon.